Donnie Van Kuren joining us now, and we are talking about something I was hoping we would have to talk about for a while, and that's just managing stress during the pandemic. We thought we'd be past this,
right.
But you know, with the new surge in cases, I think there's this kind of new wave of stress that comes over people. Now people are like, you know, freaking out about the results of a test they're waiting for, if their kid's school is going to be closed. Yeah, there's a lot going on again.
And Donnie, there's a science behind why this is just making us agitated.
Yeah, there's an article in the New York Times that described this increase in outburst in just the customer service industry, and it's called the Great Chorus of American Consumer Outrage. And even though, you know, I'm sure there's outrage that existed before 3 years ago, there's just this huge increase in outrage. And so we're finding out that all our emotions, our good and our bad emotions together, just can build up, and they're magnifying in the pandemic. And so these minor annoyances, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where computer didn't work, or, you know, somehow I put in my password, it was the wrong password, I had to re-put it in. Just these minor annoyances are now turning into rage in many cases. And so that's kind of what we're seeing, is just a lot of the, if we had that little tipping factor, now it's even more aggressive. So science is showing us that this is a buildup in our body. And one of the ways we could combat this is just by having movement. Just movement to exert out these negative emotions. It's not the only way, but it's definitely having an impact. So when I say movement, I'm not talking about running and exercising, but that is part of it, but also stretching and, you know, going for a walk down the hall or walking down the stairs, or somehow just moving your body to a point that kind of exits some energy, and that gives you a little bit more benefit or control over these things that sometimes are just triggering you that maybe you didn't have happen 3 years ago.
So that might help kind of in the big picture. But Donnie, what's your advice for us if we get in the moment and we're feeling really stressed out in that moment? Do you have any advice for people on how to calm down in the moment?
Yeah, some easy ones that are pretty simple, Amanda, is just, you know, count to 3, count to 10. You've heard that. Maybe remove yourself. Just walk away for a second and come back. And, you know, a lot of times in the moment, we're not being logical. We're just emotional. So we're just going how we feel. And if you can somehow catch up to that, and like I said, everybody may have a different way of catching that. Some may count to 10. Some remove themselves, go for a little walk, take a deep breath. Some will have a saying in their mind or even a scripture or something. But if you can just catch it for a few moments, that'll help your mind catch up to where your emotions and logic can be a little more balanced.
And I think it just helps just identifying, being aware that this is happening and being able to do something about it in that moment.
Carl, absolutely. A lot of times this is happening because we're not identifying until after the fact, and then we feel bad. Yeah. So yes, if you can somehow identify it, or even identify the buildup. Sometimes you know you're irritated and tired, and then you put yourself in a position to blow up. If you can identify I'm tired, it's been a long day, and not put yourself in that position, that's even better.
All right, Donnie, we got to leave it there. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you have a question for Donnie, send it to AskDonnie@news9.net, or you can visit his website, counseling1820.com.